And we are live. Good morning, everybody. Afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Today, we are going to talk about fear. Fear. Something that controls a lot of our lives if we're not aware of it. And we want to discuss what it really is, what it really means when you feel it, like irrational fear and rational fear. You know, there's a major difference and you can't mistake the two. And we want to talk about basically how it controls our lives and how we can become aware of it and how we can actually utilize it to benefit us. So, Kat, I'll just jump right in unless you have anything to add.
I can't wait.
Okay, so I'm just going to share a little story of mine. I'm just going to share myself, as Kat's already aware, and we're both walking the same path somewhat on this and helping each other out. You can call it partnering. And we are going to be doing our local businesses on the stuff that we learn. So helping them kind of use the digital space to benefit their business and increase traffic into their store, and so on and so forth. So we've been talking about this off and on, and I'm moving ahead with it right now, and I'm going to be the guinea pig, and I'm putting the documents together, I'm booking times, I'm booking facility for the workshop to take place, doing everything I need to do. Well, in amongst this, I am experiencing a lot of fear that's showing up with the face of self-doubt. I'm doubting myself that I'm capable of doing it. And it's all those little voices that come up when we try and do anything that's out of our comfort zone. What are they going to think? What am I going to look like? Is it going to be of value? Am I capable? What if I just have a blank mind and I don't know what to say? All these different things. Is this worth my time? That's another thing as well, is we start to do something and this belief or this, because we're in a world where we want everything right now and everything has to happen now. It's hard for someone who is just getting into the entrepreneurial mindset and taking that route in life to be patient and realize that you have to plant the seeds and you have to give them time to grow before you can harvest them. And so as I do all these documents and paperwork and lay out my slides and get everything together, that self-doubt comes up and those thoughts come up, and I start asking myself, like, is this worth my time? Am I gonna, is this gonna actually be able to replace my income in a different way? Like, not replace my income, but there's a certain dollar amount that I want to be making with this business, with the local businesses. And I know that it will manifest into that or more. I know this in my heart, but in the moments when the fear arises, I start to doubt. Should I be putting my time somewhere else? Is my time actually being used wisely in doing this? Am I wasting my time? All these thoughts. So because I'm at a level of awareness, self-awareness, I can catch these thoughts and this fear, and I can rationalize them. So any fear that comes up or any self-doubting thought that comes up, for example, do I even know more about this stuff than what these clients are going to come in expecting to learn, or what they know? Are they going to come in already having the knowledge, or am I going to stand in front of them and teach them something they already know? Now, that fear has come up for me, or that thought has come up for me. And to rationalize it, what's the worst that's going to happen? The worst that's going to happen is that I'm going to teach them something they already know, and I'm not going to get very good feedback, and I'm not going to do another one. I'm going to have to change it up. That's the worst that's going to happen. So when you rationalize that fear, and the worst that happens is they know everything I'm going to teach them, which is not rational. They absolutely do not know it because they're not utilizing it. So they don't know it. So it's not rational for me to think that. So let's just say that they know everything I'm going to teach them. Well, then I learn from it and I carry on and I get better. So when you rationalize your fears, you start to realize that all it is your brain trying to keep you safe out of an uncomfortable situation. But the only way that we grow and the only way that we achieve and progress in life is by being in uncomfortable situations, by being out of our comfort zones. Because when we stay within our comfort zones, we're going nowhere. We're staying in the same place. Kat, you can jump in anytime if you have anything that comes up. I'll just move into.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk about the brain and how fear, what it actually is, but then I thought maybe I'll let you do that because you're kind of just how we have a mechanism that it's protecting us. Go ahead, Kat.
Well, no, I'll let you finish. Go ahead. You finish up.
Okay. So it's very natural as human beings to have these fears that hold us back. And the only difference between someone who isn't progressing or isn't achieving the things that they want in life and someone who is achieving the things they want in their life is the ability to deal with fear, the ability to recognize it and move through it. And one thing that, because we are all human, it doesn't matter if you're making $2 million a year or if you're making $200 a month. It doesn't matter. Either way, you still have that level of fear. And as you progress, you're just going to have different fears. It's always going to be there. So the goal is not to get rid of fear. The goal is to learn how to harness it. Because often when we have, like lately, before I start these workshops, I've been having a lot of fear, a fear that I haven't felt in a long time, of like just wanting to like back up, not do it. And, you know, it's really trying to keep me safe. And this fear, I can do 100 workshops and the fear is still going to be there. But it's a sign that when that fear comes up, when it's there and it's so prominent, so dominant, is something great's going to happen and you're moving in the right direction. Because if you feel that kind of fear, it means you're doing something. And the only way to keep progressing and getting better is by doing something. What I wanted to say was that fear is not abnormal. We have a mechanism in our brain that says, whoa, easy, this is not something that I'm used to, this is not something I recognize, I don't know if it's going to be safe for you. So fear comes up and keeps you safe. So it's totally normal. And yeah, that just brings me back to what I was just talking about, the fact that it's not getting rid of it. You'll never get rid of it. You will get to know it and you will learn how to harness it and utilize it. Oh, something just happened.
Okay, so I've got tons of notes, tons of things to come up. I'll just take quickly on from that. The human brain is still very much the lizard brain is the primary brain. Oh God, you've all gone. I don't know whether it's still going or not. My internet connection is anyway. So the lizard brain, and maybe if I turn my camera off. Zélie, tu arrêtes d'utiliser le. Can you hear me?
I can. I can't see you anymore.
No, I stopped my bandwidth. I didn't know whether it was me or you that gone off, or because they're doing roadworks to put fibre in all of the city. So it's, I don't know whether it's me or you.
It just said call is stopped due to an error, or live is stopped due to an error, but we're still live. So
okay,
I don't know what's been missed, but anyway, so you said the human brain is the last thing I heard.
Well, I just stopped because I didn't know what was
Okay.
going on. So anyway, so the human brain, yeah, is still controlled by the lizard brain, and in fact, it is your primary brain because we're human beings. Okay, we're still sapiens. So that means that we're still in flight or fright mode. And if you have any of this stopping you, like when you're terrified of something, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't do anything, right? That's because this has to be taken care of. Because in the old days, well, that means that you're being chased by the lions or whatever it was, the mammoth. So you had to move, right? So this is why the brain does that. And in today's society, we have a lot of stress, a lot of stuff. So that keeps the stress, brings out these hormones that keeps the lizard brain active, very, very active. So I won't go into the hormones, what have you, just suffice to know that. And once you calm these hormones down, which is what you were saying by, you always have fear, is just you learn to go to control these levels because you learn to control your thoughts, right? So your body, your immediate reaction will be, oh my God, let's run. But you're controlling your thoughts because you're meditating, because you're eating right, because you're reading the right books, because you're with the right people. And so that way you're not listening. So this really gets kind of very fast, just shut down, and your body can continue to move. This is why you can't control your initial reaction. It's like, a knee jerk, when you hit the knee, it'll just go thump. If you hit it in the right direction, what have you. So that's just a normal something we can't control, but we can control how we react to our thoughts and how we, control all this, which is why, as you were saying, in your heart of hearts, this is something you can do, and that it's going to make you progress because you've got the higher calling. You're able to go past that initial lizard brain, right? Someone who doesn't want to or doesn't know, obviously a lot of people don't know about this, so they don't even know about comfort zones. They'll the typical cliche we all use is the men, obviously, because I don't know what women do, in fact, but they'll all go out with the lads on the Friday night, get very drunk and what have you, and do all sorts of weird and wonderful things, and then play football on the Saturday or whatever, or watch the match. I don't know we'll have to think about what the women will do. Actually, it'd be nice to sort of have an equal balance, but there you go. And they won't even know that you can surpass that, or they won't know that instead of going out and getting drunk, you can read a book or watch a video or listen to a podcast, or they when I say they, now I'm including both sexes, they won't know, so they're quite happy with their life. And in fact, my son recently got a job. He wanted to just earn some money after school and plane ticket to go and do things, and it's very, very quick to just get into that routine. He worked, thank God it was just 3 weeks, but before we knew it, it was just routine, right? It really does set in very, very fast. And so he could have just, and he was asked to continue, but he had to go, and he'd had another engagement, so he had to stop. But he could have really easily just fallen into that routine. It just is so fast, and before you know it, 5 years has gone down the line, and like, oh my God, that's how people are. They suddenly wake up, they go, oh my God, what's happened? I don't like my spouse. I'm not happy. What the hell is going on? Because your brain is just functioning. It's very happy. Routine is very nice for it because it's not having any of these hormones, and the lizard brain is calm, right? So this is when you get into a routine. You're just moseying on down and continuing your everyday routine. But when something will trigger it, like it'll get into this flight or fright, and it'll suddenly go, well, what's going on? This is when you sort of have an aha moment, or you suddenly seem to like wake up, 5 years gone down, what's going on? Or I've suddenly got 3 kids. What? Where? And you are lost for words. So that's one thing I love about being an entrepreneur, is that you take a hold of this very early on. Well, if you're with the SFM, because that's something they teach you, to watch out for, and mindset is very, very important. And so it just tells you that this is how it can be, and this, you've got to watch out for this. And so when you do, like, Brittany had this, I want to do the workshops. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Oh, no. Oh, this, because she's going through the training and she's following the training and she's, going forwards. Well, she met the right people. She connected with the right people who'd already done this, and who would be telling her, oh, you can do this. And once you have a mentor, someone that's done it before you, it's easier, no, but that person can more or less help you out a lot, you know, whereas if you're in the dark and you don't know, it might be a little bit harder to find. But because the brain is working, because Brittany was moving forwards, she met these people, and because she could see that was an opportunity, she could listen. Whereas if you're in, you know, just getting to work, coming home from work, going out with the lads on Friday night, or with your girlfriend to the cinema, or whatever it is you happen to be doing, coming back, you know, oh, the weekend's gone, oh god, it's Monday, and you know, you're setting off that life again, and maybe that life is taking up so much of your time that you feel you can't do anything else. That's when you don't see the opportunity. So you might be meeting these people, but you just don't even, you know, connect at all, because you're not in that, you know, you're not quite in your mind, and your brain is, your lizard brain is going, oh, I'm just putting my blinkers on, I'm just going to work, just going to do this. So this is why fear is very important, and it does mean, as Brittany so well said, that, you know, it takes you out of your comfort zone, and that's when you're realizing that you're actually doing something, right? You're not just sitting there watching TV or, you know, whatever it is, and you're moving forward. So yeah, she might do, you know, 100 workshops and not learn. I very much doubt it. You know, that'd be, I can't see that happening. But anyway, you know, but that is what, you know, that is the worst case scenario. And you have to, you know, and you learn to talk like that to your brain, and you learn to try and not play with it, but try and understand it and make it rationalize also. You know, well, it's no big deal. You know, I'm learning to ride a bicycle with no little wheels. What's the worst? I'm going to fall and hurt myself. Yeah, that's very scary. But, you know, I've done it 4 times now. So I'll just continue falling over till I get the hang of it. Or, you know, whatever it is you're trying to do, I'm going to learn to cook this meal. You know, it takes a lot of times before this meal is actually, you know, perfect enough for you to have the dinner party, or, you know, whatever it is you want to be doing. The kids, very, you know, before it passes the kiddie test, you know, you've got to make millions of them, let me tell you, you know, it's like, but you know, you can't let yourself be down by that. You know, some days is a good day, and other days is going to be a shit meal. That's just the way it is, and so it is with life, you know. And it happens to professionals also. You know, they might be up for this event and they give such a poor performance. Why? Who knows? But, you know, that is life, and it does happen. So as long as you are learning from your mistakes, you're not making the same mistake over and over and over and over, then that, you know, that is when you sort of have to start thinking, you know, what is going on. But as long as you're willing and you know you're going to fall over, it doesn't mean to say it doesn't hurt. Obviously, you know, when we fall flat on our faces, of course we get, you know, hurt and all this, but we just learn to deal with it differently, and to not, you know, not stay under the table and go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You know, we just have to get up, move forwards. What else is there to do? You know, what else is there to do? So, and I love the way Brittany sort of, you sort of said very nicely, well, you know, I'd like to replace my income. No, she doesn't. She wants to quadruple her income. You know, we do have Kat Smith, who's a woman who's done this in Australia. She started just like Brittany, and she's now, you know, multiple 7-figure earner. So obviously we want, you know, to follow her footsteps. We found the mentor and off we go. So it's no, you know, that's Brittany's old self talking, but I'm here to catch you out, darling. Very nicely. You know, because yeah, of course we do this because we do see big, and we've seen people that do it big. So, you know, why can she do it, not me? You know, she's learned the same things as I have. Okay, her experience will be different, but so be it. It's no big deal. You know, I can do this. And that's how you know, move through fear. But you know, as success is never a straight line. It's always up and down, up and down, up and down. But as long as you're progressing, you know, it's a tangent that way, then you're on the, you know, it's okay. That's, you know, the only way you can fail is by not doing anything. And that to me is, you know, is very sad. And that's, I have to say, that's how I've been living quite a few years. Although you see, I say that, but I left my husband. I'm still here. I'm, you know, progressing, and so it never is. You can never, you know, you do progress, and you just have to learn to look for where you progress and how you move along. So, yeah, sorry.
No, you're great. One thing that came up for me is, I'm echoing. I don't know if I'm. One thing that came up for me when you were talking is we are talking to people who we're assuming are taking intentional action to better their lives. But even when you are in a position where you don't know your direction and you are literally just getting by day, your circumstances are beating you up. You are going to your job, you want out of your job, you know that, you're aware that you want out of the job, you know, you're aware that you need something different. Fear cripples these people as well, people in that like, if you're in that kind of circumstance where you don't have a direction, you're not moving forward with something specific and intentional, but you're aware that there is something different you want. You can also recognize like your fear, financial fear, or fear that your car's not going to start because it's winter, or fear, any kind of life fear that you might have. A good way, I can't remember her name, she's an author, but a good way to look at fear is once the one main fear that we have is that we are not going to handle what's put in front of us, that we're not going to be able to handle it. So if we can understand and truly believe that I can handle anything that comes my way, I will handle anything, it can calm the general fears of life down, because we are living in a world today where people are terrified. They're terrified. There's the hope is dwindling. I mean, not in Kat and I's world, because we're in a very, very supportive community that's changing the world. That really is changing the world one person at a time. But when I think back to before I found the SFM and before I met these people and started moving forward with my life, I was that person that I knew I needed something different. I had no idea what it was. And I was terrified. I was terrified of life. I was terrified of what next month looked like, or what next year looked like, or that life was going to pass me by and I wasn't going to achieve my anything. You know, I wasn't going to fulfill my, I don't want to use the word purpose, because purpose is well, I'll use the word purpose and take it as you wish. But I just want to say to you, if you're in that kind of situation right now, is that you can handle anything that comes your way. So once you really believe that, no matter what happens in your life, you're going to deal with it. You're going to get through it. So I just wanted to kind of say that, Kat, because I know that we are talking to people who are moving forward, people who are stepping through this kind of journey and on the journey of being intentional about what their actions are or what they're doing in their lives to make it better. But I do want to talk to you. If you're here, you're already on the right path. If you're watching this video, you're already there. So even if you don't have a direction right now, you'll figure it out.
Okay, and I want to just add to that I was the other end. I'd already failed my life. I mean, I'd already had, everything passed me by. But you talk of next year. I was like, what's the next hour going to be like? Because my husband could come home any time, right? So it was. It can be very, very scary. And yes, I lived in fear constantly. But before you reach the fear that Brittany's talking about, where you can and you will just see through anything, you have, several steps that you have to take. So I'd just like to make, well, maybe because I was coming from very, very far down the road, where I was a lot older than you, and I'd not achieved anything that I thought I could do. So I could do nothing, obviously. Well, it sounds like a completely different era. I feel like I just, but yeah. So don't, if you're here, you're already on the right path anyway, because you're listening to us and to what we're saying. So you're really far, far, far along the road, even though you may not feel it, but you really are, because before you find us, you've got to get through Tony Robbins. Abraham Hicks, or any of these, the plethora of people before you find us, right? So you really have getting fine-tuned here, I would say. And we're so honored to have you with us. It's not, but I just like to say that, Brittany was scared of moving forwards. I just was looking back and thinking, I've fucked it up already. Let's just see, if I can make it through to whatever, to, to the evening. That would be nice. And I could just get into bed. And then I had the SFM, and obviously then, it was like, oh, the webinars and stuff. And, so whatever it is, it's fine. Even if it's a little book you read or a little, podcast you listen to, whatever it is that saves you, that's great. It's very, very good. But she's totally right, but before you get rid of that fear that your car won't start, you've still got a little way to go. So get in contact with us, and we'll show you what to do.
Yeah, so we can close out there. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you all next week.